Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I go by Hiram or Bogwa. Hey guys, welcome back. So in this series, I'll be covering several basic sorting and search algorithms that are good to know as a programmer. If you're new to Java, please go watch my Java Fundamental series, as that gives you the fundamental knowledge that you need to know in order for you to write basic Java applications. So here, the first algorithm that I will start with is called the bubble sort. It's the most basic sorting algorithm and it's quite inefficient, but it's good to know. So what I have created here is a program where I've defined a list of data. It's a list of numbers, and I'm created this static method where I'm printing out the data and I'm passing a title. So first, let's go ahead and compile this and run it. And there you go. As you can see, it printed out the list of data, which is not sorted right now. So what I'm going to do here is add the bubble sort algorithm and sort these numbers using the bubble sort algorithm and then print out that data list. I'll go ahead and write the sorting algorithm and then I'll break it down for you. So this is the bubble sort algorithm. And then here, I'll add the print line method. So print list, and I'll pass the title of sorted data list. I'll pass data. So let's first compile it and run it. So here, as you can see, the first list that we printed was not sorted. And then after we ran our bubble sort algorithm, we printed out this list, which, as you can tell, it's sorted from smallest to largest number. So let's get an understanding of how the bubble sort algorithm works. As you can see, it contains a nested for loop. So we have the first for loop, which defines the index I, the second for loop, which defines the index j. And then from there, we have an if statement that compares the element on I versus the element on j. If the element on I is less than the element on j, we're going to run this code that will swap the values. So in the first instance, I will be 0 and j will be 0. So they equal each other, so this code will not execute. On the second run, this will execute because I will be 0 and j will be 1. So in that instance, I is less than j, so it will swap those values. And then after that, we're going to compare 7 to 20 because 7 will be on index 0. And then it's going to swap those values, so the large element will move to the front. And it'll continue all the way to the end to where we're going to have the largest element up here in the front. So on the first run, we're incrementing this j. We're going to go through this list, so 20 will come to the front. And then after that, you will see that it will compare 20 is not less than 2, so it will not swap those values. So we'll go through the entire list until we get to a value that's larger than 20, which will be 33. So once it gets to like 33, well, it will get to 22 first and swap 22 with 20. And then you'll continue with that until it gets to 33. So at the end of the first run of this inner for loop, 33 will be here in the front, and these other values would have been swapped throughout, right? So what happens is 33 comes to the front, right? And then on the second run, we're going to bump I to 1. After this has executed all the way through to the end, and the largest number is now at the front, we're going to now go back to the upper for loop, right? And bump the I to 1. So then we have 33 here in the front. And I guess I'll go ahead and print out the list in here. That way we can be able to see after each loop executes. Here, let's just do execution. We'll just do I plus 1. Let me go ahead and execute it. That way you can see this better. So there you go, as you can see. So in the first run, the first execution of this inner for loop, right? As I said, the 33 will end up being in the front. So as you can see, the 33 is pushed out to the front. And now after that, it's going to compare the second element. So I will be bumped up to 1. And as you can see, so at the second run, I equals 1, but J will equals 0, right? So in this instance, I is starting from 1 and J is starting from 0. It's going to compare if if 3 is less than 33. In that instance, right, it's going to swap the 3 on the first run. It's going to say I is less than J, because I has been bumped up once and J is still starting from 0. So it's going to swap the 3 since it's less than 33, and then continue from there where it's comparing now to 33. So on the first run, I is 1, J is 0. So we'll swap those because I is less than J. J will be incremented. So on the second run, J will be 33. Since we've swapped them, J will be 33 and I would be 33. So nothing will happen. And then after that, it's going to continue all the way to the end. And then on the second execution, I would now be bumped up to 2, right? So I will be 7 and J will still start from 0. Is 7 less than 3? No. So in that instance, we're not going to do anything. But is 7 less than 33? Yes. So in that instance, we're going to swap the values and then continue like that. Now, as you can see here, what's happening is the large number is being bumped up slowly towards the back, and the smaller numbers are now being pushed out to the front. So the 30 bubbles up all the way to the top, and then the lower numbers keep moving back to the lower end. And that's why we call it the bubble sort. So the large numbers are bubbling up all the way to the top. Now, as you can see, it takes 14 runs for it to fully sort the list. So the bubble sort algorithm is not really efficient, but it's a good basic sorting algorithm to know. There are other complex algorithms, and we will cover a few more in this series. But for now, get to know and understand how the bubble sort algorithm works and test it out yourself. Thank you for watching my tutorials. Give it a thumbs up if you like it, and subscribe if you haven't. And also check me out on Instagram at coderush.io.